The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from all of that. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is a riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Fuck Amazon.
Damn. Wow. Okay. We're coming in hot. Not mad at him. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
I second that emotion.
There it is. I guess that's what it is right now. That's what it is. Shout out to Oz. He's not here yet, but he will be. He's our intrepid senior reporter. If you don't know him, you'll come to learn him soon. But yeah, he's next line for the cow, all that. You'll see. You'll see. As for myself, my name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a packed show for you today. We really do. I don't even know. I'm not sure. I messed around and left the hen house one time. And all of a sudden, we going to be talking to you all about Yu Hakusho. We're going to be talking to you about Scott Pilgrim. We're going to be talking to you about Godspeed. We're going to be talking to you about Creepshow, the holiday special. Listen, we're going to talk about Jonathan Majors in a second. Like, we're going to talk about what. Listen, we don't even need you to tell us what you want to talk about because we're going to talk about it. It's just that's how packed the show is. Like, all you got to do is wait. If you're going to hang around long enough, we're going to get to the topic that you want. So just chill out. Comment on what we commented on, and it's going to be awesome. Even though we do want the intern to tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum. So I guess we will do that.
Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed we do. Indeed we do.
Timing was a little bit off.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, it's a lot. So we're not gonna waste time. Jonathan Majors has been convicted of huh? Oh.
Comic book news. We should have a like current. Well, not like that, but like.
Yeah, man. Law and Order for real. Because yes, Jonathan Majors has been convicted of misdemeanor assault and harassment, a harassment charge. I don't remember if it was minor or something like that. There was some sort of modifier on the harassment.
I think it was like third-degree harassment or some shit.
Yeah, something like that. It was definitely some sort of modifier on it. But the fact is, he was brought up on 4 charges. They exonerated him of 2 and then convicted him of 2. So immediately upon that happening, Disney's like, he's out, which, I mean, I get it.
Real quick. Reckless assault in the 3rd degree, which is a misdemeanor, harassment in the 2nd degree, which is a violation.
Mm-hmm.
And the assault charge, I don't know what degree that is.
You said it. You said.
Oh, I did.
3rd degree. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Third degree, yeah, misdemeanor.
Third degree, yeah. And you know, that was in New York, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's New York.
Maybe.
And if I'm remembering correctly, like, you know, I mean, obviously we've heard things like first and second degree in regards to different charges before, but I believe if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves, New York, you know, their modifiers are a little bit different than most of the rest of the country. And so, you know, like, yeah, you really got to kind of read them to know exactly what it is that it is that he got convicted of. And from what, you know, the jury was out for a few days and literally like asked for clarification on particular crimes and whatnot. So there were some people, well, they obviously didn't convict him of some of the crimes that he was allegedly or that he was charged with, but they did convict him of others. So he's out, and now the question that really concerns us is what's next for the MCU with that being the case, because Kang seemingly was going to be a big part of things that were coming, considering that, you know, we just finished a season of Loki that he was a big part of.
But it's set up for his replacement.
I mean, potentially.
That's if they just recast. Call Forrest Whitaker.
Or OJ.
Whitaker. OJ.
Yeah.
Wait. What? Wait a minute. First of all, listen. First of all, you know, we're not going to like, or I should say, we're not going to. Obviously, there's something to be said about Jonathan Majors as an individual, like as a person. He has issues and is now been convicted of assaulting a woman. So that in and of itself makes it so that, you know, his character is in question.
And he'll probably, once he goes to anger management, he'll be fine.
Yeah. But setting that aside.
I mean, I want my villains to have issues.
Listen, setting that aside, his skills as an actor, you know, I think we can all agree are pretty high up there. And, you know, y'all are just tossing out random names. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Forrest Whitaker is not a good actor.
That's what it sounds like you're saying.
No. What I'm saying is, like, I'm saying in my mind, like Jonathan Majors in a lot of ways was like he's definitely of the in the arena with like a Chadwick Boseman, and definitely felt like he was trying to set himself up to be like the next Denzel Washington in some ways. You know what I mean?
They should get him.
Look, I don't want him in my Marvel movies.
Oh, see, now this is
I'm talking about Chadwick Boseman.
Moses, if you don't stop it with this, what do you listen? What I'm trying to understand here is why is Jay this person that will happily toss out Forrest Whitaker as a replacement for Jonathan Majors, but does not want Denzel Washington? Like, why would you not want Denzel Washington?
First off, you say Forrest Whitaker as if he can't match that tone, and like he can match what Jonathan Majors did damn near perfectly. Like you see that in his acting. Like like Jonathan Majors is just a slightly more energetic Forrest Whitaker.
This fool, man, listen. I wish there were actual things as black cards. I wish that was a real thing.
Well, I think I would definitely mine.
I would call my friend into question and be
I think I have one.
The black delegation needs to review Joseph Andrew Russell. He said Jonathan Majors is just a slightly more energetic Forrest Whitaker. What? Okay. All right, Jay. Listen, I mean, that's definitely a take, and I'm happy that you're here to give it. But look, what I will say is this: if we are recasting, I mean, are we trying to get somebody along? Well, no, I mean, listen. The funny thing is, I I would not mind if they recast it with a white person, and therefore the black
Of course
delegation
you
is
would.
just called me into question as well. No, say what?
Of course you wouldn't. As long as it's not a woman, you're fine.
What
Is
is the thing
Kang not
about
a woman?
Kang is not a woman.
Kang hasn't been a woman that I know of. I mean, that's what Ravonna is kind of there for. Like Ravonna, like when they want a female version of Kang, that's what they usually go with.
Mm.
That doesn't show as much in
Yeah,
the MCU. Yeah, but
it's like anything. That's why when we talked earlier, I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what they do at this point. Like, fuck. I'm pissed that they dropped them. Like, you know, it's just Kevin. Yeah, you know, yeah.
no, tell me what do you
Like,
think?
like he allegedly did these things and he's convicted, but it wasn't like he wasn't on the clock. It wasn't on at work. It wasn't with a coworker. And you know, now I understand maybe they have some clause or something in his contract, but
Yeah,
it's still like, dude, like you know, you hired him to play pretend, not to be a good guy to whoever he's dating at the time. You know,
but there are plenty of other people that get fired for behavior that's outside of their job, especially in this
yeah,
day and age.
but I like him.
Why would? Huh?
Like I look, Larry, you've done this show long enough. I just care about him as Kang. I don't give a fuck what he does. Yeah. And it's like, you know, that Roman Polanski could still win Academy Awards, but this motherfucker can't be Kang. You know, like OJ
I mean,
Golf,
at least let him do a surface first, right?
right? Like
What?
pay his debt to
What?
society. Like,
Yeah,
do
that's what
he
I'm saying. Like, he's got to do like, or they're saying he's probably just going to get anger management. And so I would say to Mo, like, yeah, just let, or to anyone, like, once he does his time, then I would say, like, I get dumping him right now. Like, that I get. But I would reopen his contract once he serves his time.
It's not like he got down on one knee during the Pledge of Allegiance. All right,
Jesus,
like,
see,
it can work.
see,
Still.
you first of all, the fact that you said the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
He don't know no sports ball.
Yeah.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Oz, our intrepid senior reporter. Welcome, Oz. We're talking about.
We're discussing the major story of the day.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Oz, what's your take, man? What are you feeling about? Like, I mean, you know, we're not really talking about the conviction in and of itself. We're talking about what should happen next in regards to him getting dropped. So, what are you thinking? Drop the Kang storyline, which is what people have. You know, some people have been suggesting. Are you thinking recast? What do you think?
I was hoping they would drop the Kang storyline earlier. Like he's not a good villain, and he's been beaten by everybody. Wow. And I know you guys say, "Well, it wasn't the real Kang," but it's like I'd rather have a Doom or a Galactus. And you know what? The way the Loki season, the last season of Loki ended, is a great ending for that Kane saga. You know, even at the end, the TVA is like, yeah, there's some variants wandering around, and one of them just got knocked around by 616. You know, like they treat him like he's nothing at that point.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'm fine with them. You know,
but do you think they did that on purpose in Loki, just in case this happened?
It's a good question.
I thought about that.
Could have been an escape clause.
It's possible, but man, I don't know. That's
because it's like, I mean,
yeah.
you
I'd
know,
have to see. I'd have to see when they shot that. Like how long ago? Well, I guess he's had this like for over a year, right? Like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
So it probably could have been like a little back.
Uh-oh, I was froze.
Yes, he did.
he's
They
he's
got
in,
him.
he's
Look,
he's in the
Kang's like, you
world.
talking that trash? I'll show you. Washed
He went
up. I'll
back
show
in-
you.
he went
Look.
back in time and pulled his dad's cock out. Like,
I'm like, this was to beat everybody, huh? He's like, I'll show you who I beat.
I like how he says Doom, but it's like everybody's beating Doom too. Like,
Well, not in the MCU. I'm assuming he's talking MCU.
yeah.
Even-
But look,
and I don't feel like
the way-
this fool got
the way
beat up so
MCU
much in the MCU.
no. But again, like the one that got beat up by Ant-Man was probably the good one. Like he was the one trying to save the multiverse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry,
All right,
I ate a Reese's. But yeah. Maybe Kang will let Oz come back.
yeah. He's gonna put him into that timeless world from the comics and tell him, hey, listen here.
Right. What do you think about Isaiah Washington as a recast?
He's okay.
You guys know Isaiah Washington, Denzel Washington's son. He was in Tenet.
Yeah, I
He
know
was-
who he is.
I'm looking at my
Jay's like, I don't know the blacks because that's how
like
Jay
I saw
reads.
Tenet,
Black
but I don't
delegation, please
remember
review.
it being
Huh?
any good.
You saw
Like, I saw
Tenet, but you don't
Tenet.
remember it being any good.
Yeah.
But
Oh
because
wait,
of the
no, that's not
Okay.
true.
I'm like, Tenet is amazing, and it confused a lot of people.
like you could
But-
watch it.
and, you know-
I wish I watched it on VHS so I could just watch it on rewind.
Right?
Yeah, because the shit does rewind like a VHS. I'm like, man, I need to have
It-
clear after this.
Yeah. Like I feel like Tenet is one of those movies for most people where it's better when they watch it the second time. Because now that they have like a more
I don't
better,
even think
bit
I
of a
watched
handle of the concept.
Crooklyn.
Oh, he was in Crooklyn?
Yeah,
No, he was
but
like,
I
not
did
the
see
original Crooklyn.
Clockers. Yeah,
No,
it
he
was Vic.
but that was in the Netflix series.
Oh, got you. I was about to say, I'm like Crooklyn's old. I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah, 1994. He was
Right.
Vic.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's probably real young.
Oz
He was
Kang
in
got you?
Clockers, which I like Clockers.
It'd be a different Isaiah Washington.
I mean, it is a relatively common name. I don't know if but if it's the same one that has Tenet, I don't know. But either way, like Jay, like you know who we're talking about. What do
I
you think?
think so. Unless
He
you
was in
guys
Black
said
Klansman.
this is a
The
different
dude from
guy.
Tenet, Jay.
From Black Klansman.
Wait,
Right.
are you talking about?
You know, I
About,
didn't watch no
Major
fucking Black
Replacement?
Klansman.
Well, because
Why did
I
you not
wish,
watch
No, I
Black
didn't
Klansman?
watch
Jay,
that.
I wish you would have, Jay, because if you would have agreed with my next statement that Adam Driver should be Kang.
I saw a picture of Boyega as Kang, and he looks like a young Majors.
Wait, what John Boyega and Jonathan Majors are like the same age, aren't they?
And, well, look, Majors has obviously had a rough life.
Well, no,
So
he was a
you
boxer,
look at
so he has a.
wait, you look at Jonathan Majors, you think he looks old?
Oh shit!
In the picture that I saw, Boyega looked younger. They could have just been artistic license. I don't know why you're on my ass. Hey, look, just be happy I differentiated who I was looking at.
No, yeah. If this is the same guy you're thinking of,
Jay, why don't you know, Jay?
See, Jay can't tell them apart.
But Jay feels that way about all black people.
Is he
apparently.
talking about Adam Driver?
no, I know him.
Oh, of course you do. You son of a bitch.
Okay, this might be a different Isaiah Washington.
Yeah, because
What's
I don't
wrong
think
with this
Denzel Washington's son was in Clockers.
Yeah,
What
this
is
guy was
wrong
in
with
Ghost Ship, which
Yeah.
What is,
yeah,
what?
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
down with
like.
that.
What's wrong with him?
But the old
What
you
the
want
fuck?
old Isaiah Washington, not Denzel Washington's son.
Now I'm trying to find his Wikipedia. I guess he doesn't have one.
Jay, Jay, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you act like this?
Jay, you should watch
like-
Black Klansman though, Jay. You'd love it.
No, I'm not watching that.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna make you just like we make Larry watch horror movies. I'm gonna tie you down, take your pants off, and make you watch Black Klansman
Wait, why are you taking his pants off?
for fun
Oh,
In case he tries to run away.
for the
No, the
audience.
same guy comes up when I put in.
I like how Jay wasn't even phased with me taking off his pants.
You know, I generally don't wear pants anymore. Like when I'm home, like I'm kind of over pants.
Yeah,
Like I'm wearing them right now because I might end up on camera. But if that weren't the case, like they'd be off already.
he might end up on camera.
Okay, yeah, I don't know who Denzel Washington's son is or what he's done.
No, you know what? Whatchamacallit? You know what? I whatchamacallit. I probably said his name wrong.
Is it
That's
not
probably what I did.
Isaiah?
It's a
Let me
lot.
look it up.
Okay.
No, it's probably John. That's why.
God damn it.
John Washington,
John and Isaiah?
I told you Tenet.
but his name is John Washington.
John
Oh my
David.
God.
His name is John Davis.
John David Washington.
Oh, John David Washington. I thought John David. Corn.
Who is that?
Oz.
It's not me.
No.
No, that was me. Sorry.
Mm.
The bell, that was me.
I like how
Damn it,
Larry.
Larry.
I like how Larry's like just pretend like it didn't happen,
Dude,
which is
listen,
a professional thing to do. That's why I like.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got a background in this. Let's just keep talking. Like, if everybody stops and is like, what was that noise? Like, that don't help
You're not
nothing.
gonna waste time this episode.
He was speaking for the audience.
Listen.
Dude, I haven't. Oh, shit. The one thing that I would have seen him in, I didn't end up going to because timing was
Joe,
terrible.
Why all the preamble? Why don't you tell us what it is, Joe? If you're gonna.
Oh, he was in The Creator.
Oh,
Okay,
I
there you
haven't
go.
seen.
Yeah, I want to see that too. That looks good. But
It looks
anyway, man,
It looks okay.
you saw
Like,
Tenet.
dude, the only thing I remember about Tenet is that sometimes shit goes backwards, and there was a really funny part where he was fucking over this white dude, like with the because he wasn't supposed to be in the restaurant, and he walked in anyway, and he told the dude to like bring him his shit to go. The dude was like, absolutely not. Like that was hilarious.
Hey, spoilers.
Right, that's the Tenet spoiler.
And it was just
Exactly.
stuff like that. Like whenever he gets called out for being like low class, a lower class, like those scenes I really enjoy.
Jeez.
Not because I think that he is
No,
So-
we
a
got
low
it. We got
person, but
we picked up the we read between the lines already, Jay. It's all right. The
So-
black
so-
delegation will be in touch.
it was
Jay-
just really funny the way he handles himself so well that it's funny.
And
Because
that's why you need to watch
Right.
Black Klansman,
I'm not watching that.
dude, because the movie is all that,
Yeah, I had enough in Tenet.
and he does it with prank phone calls to the head of the KKK.
You know I don't like pranks.
Phone calls? You don't like phony phone calls?
I mean, they're funny, but I feel bad for the people.
Yeah, but
So
this
that's
guy,
the clan.
but this guy's
It's the freaking Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
yeah, it's the Grand Inquisitor. Of the,
I got a funny suspicion this fool had it coming. You know, like come Come on, man.
Based on a true
Anyway,
story. It's history.
It is history.
It
too,
is.
yeah.
So
I
listen,
think that's
let's
the
wrap.
other
Let's,
reason I didn't see
So
it.
Forrest
we're
J's
gonna wrap it up.
Whitaker, Oz is for John Boyega. I say OJ. No,
You can't even see.
not OJ. I guess. I mean, he's more funny, like in Naked Gun, but I would do like Lawrence Fishburne as Kang.
I don't like that.
Why not?
I just don't like I just don't want anybody old. I'm still upset they got fucking Han Solo in the MCU now.
Well, but see, with CGI, who gives a fuck? Like,
He's gonna die before the second movie.
there's AI now. Like, they could still live on.
Nah, they signed a deal. Can't do it. Can't
What
be
do
done.
you like? Why are you acting like Lawrence Fishburne is on his deathbed?
He's like
why-
85.
not that. I don't think he's that old at all.
Well, all right.
Look, just for the record, we were talking about John Boyega's 31. Friggin' Jonathan Majors is 34.
So he is a younger Jonathan Majors.
I mean, that's basically the same age. Lawrence Fishburne is 62.
Oh, I suppose you think they look the same too.
Wait, 62?
How about
Yeah.
Anthony Anderson?
Wasn't he born in the 70s?
No,
He was born in 61.
he almost wasn't born in the 60s.
Oh, his first role was in the 70s.
He was born.
Okay, well, that's different than the day you were
Star was
born.
born in the 70s.
Yeah, I just misread.
No.
How about Anthony
Yeah.
Anderson?
Like what? How old he is?
No,
Or you talking about casting?
Kang.
No, he can't do it.
I just
I love Anthony Anderson, but he has a range.
I just
And
watched
Kang
Blackish
is well out of it. You watched what?
Okay.
for the first time.
Oh,
No, he could be Kang. Like, he's already
watch
part of...
Romeo Must Die.
No, I just love him in that, and then I love him in Me, Myself.
But he was
and Irene.
awful. That
No,
whole
but he's
movie
still
was awful.
he's good. Even when he's bad, he's good. That's why he could be Kang.
You should just say the guy that played King Shark on the Harley Quinn cartoon.
That was Anthony.
Oh, that guy's hilarious.
That was
No,
Anthony
it's not
Anderson.
Anthony Anderson. That's Devin.
Louis-
Bunches,
right?
right?
Was it
Yeah,
Bunches?
Bunches.
Yeah, imagine that voice coming out of Kang.
That joint would be hilarious. Like that's what just
might start making money again.
Look,
I don't think it's good, but it would be funny.
DC. That's DC's next Darkseid cartoon. Devin Funch's Darkseid.
Devin Funch's Darkseid would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm just a fan. It's like he makes me laugh. So
I don't know why
I'm
we
open.
can't just get Krasinski to take it. He already played a Richards.
let him be Kang too.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's
why
part of
not?
it. He's supposed to be a descendant, right?
Technically, he's a variant. Yeah.
Hey, there it is. White variant.
Yeah. No, they're probably gonna go. I think they're gonna go with Madam Loki.
Madam Loki.
Yeah, because he's Madam Web, like, the Loom World protector of the Loom and all the threads. That's what Madam Web did at the end of Spider-Verse.
The comic.
Yeah,
Oh, you okay? I see.
like that scene with him like weaving everything. That's what that literally was the last page or the
I
last 3
swear,
pages. Of,
every time he said that, I thought he was talking about Sylvie, but he just didn't want to say her name.
No,
No.
he's Madam Web. They turned Loki to Madam Web at the end of Loki.
He didn't say
I
it.
disagree, but everyone's opinion is welcome here.
They showed the tree in the What If trailer, so that's everywhere now. The sacred timeline thing is done.
I'm still tripping off the fact that Sylvie is like a variant card for Enchantress in Marvel Snap.
Yeah,
And I was just like, I didn't understand that
man.
at all. I was like, why does that happen? And I know Raymond told me that he's like, oh, people like she's kind of like the Enchantress in the MCU, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, we should definitely talk more Marvel Snap, but we got like 4 things to get through.
Yeah, Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there might not
We
be
got-
time for snap conversation like for the
No,
next 4 or 5 shows.
So that
You wait. Oh, how dare you? How dare you with your friggin' your friggin' smorgasbord of a show that we're doing today? How dare you?
It's the last show. And, like, we still have to get to Larry talking about Killing Tree because he said he was gonna watch it and he didn't get.
Oh,
to
did you
yeah,
watch that terrible movie?
Much like Marvel Snap, we don't have any more time for Killing Tree talk because we have 4 topics
I
that we must
agree.
get to. We must
Fuck
get
that
to.
tree.
What about Night Terrors? You read Night Terror?
Night Terrors we might be able to get to at the end or maybe the opening of next.
I don't think
the
he
next
even
show.
read Creepshow.
What? How dare you? Listen. Anyway, speaking of which, we should go ahead and I guess go on to one of these topics.
Let's go right in the Creepshow.
Scary
Comic book
review. Scary
comic book
like
review.
well, not like that, but like
There it is, folks.
I-
Tis the season
I need to read.
for scary comics, apparently, because
Well, it's a holiday. It's a Christmas special.
it is in fact the Creepshow Holiday Special 2023. So, with that said, let's talk about it. Who wants to tell the good people, our wonderful audience that's here with us in this season, what this book's all about?
All right. Creepshow is an anthology horror book. The holiday special features 2 stories. One, some kids find out why you shouldn't like fuck around with magic. And in our second one, porch pirates get what the fuck they deserve.
There it is. There it is. Let us expound. Moses, you're a big Creepshow fan. How did you find how did you find these stories in this particular iteration for the holiday special?
I love the first one particularly because it is like, around the holidays, like getting together with family is always it can be tumultuous. You don't know how you guys get along. You stay apart for a year, but you come together at this time. But you have to be nice. And then with kids, it could be weirder too. So, and that's what this story really is. Like throughout that story, like most of the tormenting is happening by the people, and then they get their just deserved at the end by manifesting the imaginary thing that they did for the young girl. Her belief in Christmas kind of created this being. As far as a story like flow, I think it needed a little more uh finesse, but in these abbreviated anthology stories, sometimes you don't get that. So, and that's the only thing I don't like about these horror anthologies. I like how Creepshow did it here, where they do 2, and I think in volume 2 they're only doing 2 each book, so you get them. They're a little longer. But if you had to do 4 and still do like a 32-page comic, like you got 8 pages to do it, it's a challenge. Some people do it better than others, but a lot of them are really just you got to fill in the blanks, and that's something like to me filling in the blanks when it's a printed media or something that's designed to tell you a story. It's I'm not reading. When you read a novel or a book, it's you fill in the blanks with your imagination. You visualize it in your brain. A comic book, I don't need to visualize shit. Maybe just some motion, but that's about it. So that's my only. And in this one, it did pretty good about of tying it all together. That first one, the second one left a little to be desired, but the first one, I really loved the art style in the first one. It was very horror comic-y, and it didn't. It wasn't afraid of exaggerating expressions or even anatomy, but still do it in a way that's consistent and stylized, and yeah, and doing the little like when the girl's imagining the Christmas man, like it's
Mm-hmm.
like crayon stuff, and then
Yeah, art draw. Yeah, like kid drawing.
and when it actually comes to life, it's like whoa, like it
Yeah.
looks really really cool. Yeah.
Oz, what did you think in regards to what Mojo said in regards to the story maybe needing a little bit more fleshing out or whatnot? Like, did you feel like it didn't kind of flow correctly?
um, yeah, I had a couple problems. I first of all, I don't like that they call him Christmas man because there's
Why?
a Krampus. That's basically kind of what they got here, and like they don't like the second story doesn't do this either. But I don't see how like how they summoned it or how like there's no there's no like black magic. It just kind of shows up. I mean,
Well,
the girl kind of knew that it was going to show up, and that's why she took the stocking. But like, I didn't see her do anything that would make it appear. It's just something that happens.
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of like the fill in the blank moment is basically what brings this happen is the child's belief in Santa Claus, belief in that that concept, and she believed it with all her heart. The faith, the faith brought it out, and that's basically that's a panel or an explanation that just a little bit, just with the tear of a child's innocence, boom, he sprouted.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could have been done in a panel, and then you have the connection of how it got here.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and I don't know that. I'm not sure if I felt like it needed it, but I do agree that that could have been done, and it wouldn't have hurt the story by any means. It would have made it better.
It just feels more
Um,
complete.
yeah,
To me, and that's kind of
I feel
like
like
if
it.
you watch Killing Tree, that's kind of what we talked about then, where it's like we don't know why this person wants to kill people on Christmas. Like it seems like it's kind of pagan, but it's also Christian, and it's against materialism. But it's like the dude's wearing a lot of jewelry for someone that's not materialistic. So
Mhm.
it's little details like this that really could sell the story to the audience.
Jay, how did you feel about the story, man? Like, did you feel like it could have used a little something extra too? Jay, Jay, can you hear me?
Say that again.
I said, how did you feel about the
Oh, say that
story?
again.
Did you feel like? Oh, can you hear me?
No, I felt the complete opposite.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
we're
just
on
a
a delay or something.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, yeah, I love the story. I didn't think there was anything missing. I would not want an extra panel in there. I
Not
think
a one.
yeah, I don't know. It just did everything it needed to me. Right? The child is getting bullied, and she's like, "Man, fuck you guys! I'm gonna steal your stockings," and it's just the manifesting a demon, and it happened to go like get her tormentors like that. It's beautiful.
Mhm. But that's just the thing. It's like it is. I don't like it. Doesn't. I felt it needed it in a sense just for the story flow, but it's not like it. It's like Larry said. It's not missing, and if it was there, it wouldn't change it for the worse. It would just add another little detail. And I always go back because I had to go back and read because I felt similarly about. See, look, now Larry's leaving because we're going to more horror stuff. But I felt back when we reviewed Creepshow #1 with the Halloween story where the kids took too much candy. That was a similar thing, and it's like, okay, now like, to me, these stories feel the same because it's just they have the setup and they have the the um what happens, their comeuppance, you know. So it's like it's almost like a joke. You set up and then you got a punchline, and I feel like these, since they are doing 2 instead of 3, could use a little more story, a little more meat in this sandwich. You know, the sandwich is still good, but just a little more seasoning, a little, you know, that's that concept that I said. We're like explaining that it is the kid's faith a little bit, and I'm sure Oz. That's kind of what he said too, where it's like explaining how it got summoned. It could just be, when I said panel, I meant like a caption box, you know, but it's just something. It's just something extra that would help it. It doesn't, not having it doesn't, for me, it doesn't hurt it a lot because I'm used to
I
this. But again, it could be
I know what
that these stories the same, you know?
yeah, I know what you're saying. I just don't feel it with this, but I do know what you mean. I feel like
Yeah.
a Yamisha Bai, sometimes I would just give me an extra minute of content to like tie what you're doing together.
Yeah.
And I know like, okay, one place where they couldn't do this and they had to like make sure the shit was fleshed out was the first Tales from the Crypt movie. Now, they made that completely different from the series because they knew like, well, this works for the series, this works for the comics, but it's not going to work here on the big screen. And I agree with them. Like, they made the right choice. But
What was that,
for
Demon Knight?
Creepshow, Demon Knight.
Mhm.
But for the Creepshow TV show, for the Creepshow comic, I feel like they're doing enough. Like I don't have a bunch of questions. Like it's enough to tell me that that's what happened. Like kids were being assholes and then they got their feet eaten. Like that's enough for me.
As it does happen from time to time.
And the thing is, in what, like, the panel that could have been used to explain, or the caption box, but they used it to just show you what dicks these people are too. So if if they cut that out to give me a little explanation, I'd rather have this than an explanation, you know?
Yeah, but the more they're dicks, the more I enjoy their feet being eaten.
Right, exactly. I think they did a really good job of establishing this family dynamic with this little girl and her relatives, you know? So that's world building on like a budget, because they only have a certain amount of pages to do that in, and it's like you get everything you need to know about these assholes and this little girl in that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There it is. They shouldn't have been sports fans. If they weren't sports fans, they would have had their feet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the second story. The porch pirates, which it's wild.
Porch pirates.
Yeah, it's wild that we're at a point where we can do like a random comic book story about stuff like that, because I mean it is a kind of it's a part of our lives now. Like, you know, it felt like it used to be kind of like a bit of a one-off, but it's like, especially in this day and age, it feels like, yeah, it's something that happens a lot more often. So yeah, Jay, you obviously have strong feelings. Why? Like, did this story resonated with you in a special way?
Yeah, I just don't like porch pirates in general, just like thieves in general. And when you're giving someone like the signs to stop, like they were pretty obvious. Like I would have stopped at the heart. Or what was the first one? The hands were the first? I don't remember what was.
I think it was the eye, and eye was the first.
Like, I'm done. I don't steal anything probably ever again. Like, that's it for me. Like, I turned that shit into the cops anonymously. I burned what's left in my house. Like I burned that shit, and then I'm done with that. But no, she got the heart, she got the eyes, she got the hands, and to keep going, it's like, yeah, this is what happens. This is what you deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm only a little
Yeah.
sad it only got one of them. But she was the
Well,
one egging it on, so
not only that, but it also kind of feels as though like it's almost a better punishment that only one of them died, because then the other one has to like live.
Well, that's but
She's
that's
also not.
yeah.
She's also not very smart. Like the boxes with the body parts are all red. It's like
I
the
think that's
only
where
red
the
box there, and she just picks it up every time.
But that's
It's
just
Christmas.
see, and that this is what the story. No, but this is what the issue I had with the first story. Like it really comes to play in the second one because there's a lot of stuff that's for the audience here, and then there's stuff that happens, but then it's like it could use some explanation. Like everything that she gets in the boxes is missing from her partner at the end, but it's like it wasn't missing the whole time. So whose are they? Is somebody else getting hers? It's like
Yeah,
those
that's
are
the assumption I made, was that the
they're
killer
basically doing
took
it
her
to
parts for
all
the
the
next
porch
person.
pirates.
all the
Like
porch
they're
pirates
going
from
around to porch
right.
pirates,
Again,
and it's like
that's a little
now
bit
the
of an
next person will get that girl's hand,
yeah.
eye, and heart.
That's what we're
Okay.
assuming. But yeah, and how do
Well,
they
I
get
mean,
them? How do they get them so fast? Yeah, but again, it's a shorter form story, and it's all inference. So I'm good. I'm good with it. But it could, that's the one that could have used a little more explanation. If it was like a feature film and they did it like this, it'd be different. But yeah,
yeah, I don't think I would want any other panel added to the story. I think, well, just for me, it just worked. It's creepy and it's funny,
yeah.
and
The
yeah,
art's good.
I did like that art. The art for the first story kind of grew on me,
Okay.
but yeah,
Sorry.
but I did enjoy. I did like the kind of more less stylized art, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, and I had the same experience. I feel like it grew on me in the first story, but then I think part of it too was like I just wasn't. It's weird because obviously it's Creepshow, so it's horror, but it's also Christmas, and so I was just like, when I started reading it, and I know it's like Christmas, I'm like, I said like look like this is I'm like, oh, it's horror, like like I almost had to like re-remember what I was reading. So, but it did grow on me, and it does fit, especially when you get to the end with the like friggin' jackalope demon, you know. But I did like the subtlety of the art style in the second story, and they both fit each of the tones well.
What I really like in the second story is the design of the creep. Like when the little candy part, like he looks
Yeah,
really cool in it too. And then I like how they did the rest of it. But that really like
right.
the style befitting the story is a good touch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, let's rate this bad boy. What would you all rate Creepshow Holiday Special 2023? Oz.
I'm gonna say like 3.5. It's worth reading. It's missing a few things, but it's a good Christmas story.
Gotcha. Jay, what would you rate Creepshow 2023 Holiday Special?
I'll give it a 5. It's fun. It's Christmassy. It's murdery.
There it is. All the things that Jay hopes for Christmas. Moses Magnum, What would you rate Creepshow Holiday Special 2023?
It's a 4.5 out of 5. It's near perfect, and even the flaws that I pointed out, they're only flaws to me, but that it's basically how I would do it if I would have done these stories, you know. But on their own, like the Porch Pirate one, I feel like it's the next Christmas Carol. Like I think if somebody really fleshes that out, it can be like the next like Scrooge type story, you know, of our time. Yeah, this generation.
I think I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5 as well. And mostly just because, I'm not much of a horror guy. I don't need blood in my Christmas. So, but
Well,
I think it probably is.
Christmas is tainted in blood. Like
Christmas is tainted in
like Jesus was born in a manger because they're trying to kill all the Jewish babies.
There it is.
That's not.
I don't think that's the right. I don't think that's the right holiday.
Like
but
stories going.
Yeah.
Also,
no, it's more about gel coat.
When the fourth round,
Don't you call it?
doesn't look good already.
Jumbo Scampi for limited.
Jay says, "Save all that Jesus talk for your Sunday morning show."
That's our Christian corner moment.
Jay's like, "Take this Robotech."
Yeah, like even he had John the Baptist right after Jesus. Later.
All right. What shall we talk about first? You guys want to talk some Yu Yu Hakusho, or do you all want to talk about Scott Pilgrim?
Yu Yu's
Let's do
fine.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim's fine.
Wow, that
You or me?
All right, let's do Scott Pilgrim takes off. Man, Jay, you talked about Creepshow, even though you probably should have talked about Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, like I had a spiel for Scott, but I took Creepshow. So
No, but it's okay.
No.
Look, you can go with Scott. Look, the people want to hear from you anyway. So talk about Scott Pilgrim takes off, Jay. Tell the people what
Last
it
show,
is.
you talk you do the whole thing, man, if you want.
okay, so Scott Pilgrim basically starts out as a kind of retelling of the movie, and they're kind of making some changes, just little ones, like minor stuff, and it basically is like kind of hitting some of the key moments in the Scott Ramona meeting, romancing. They're meeting and romancing, and it gets basically it's stuff we've already seen but made different for some reason. And you get to like the first episode and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll see what else they change. And then the end of episode 1 comes and Scott fucking dies. And like literally woke me up. And so this series is about what happens in Scott Pilgrim when Scott dies and the evil exes win. And Ramona is trying to figure out what exactly happened. Like Scott died, but did he really die? Maybe, but she's not sure, and she's gonna meet with all her evil exes until she figures out the truth, forcing her to face her problems instead of just running away like she normally does.
Yeah. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. I forget, Mo Oz, you get to watch this joint a little.
I watched it when the day it came out.
Got it.
I saw a little bit and saw that it was just a retelling of the movie and book, and was like, okay, I'm good.
But it's not like that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, I know.
But
At some
did you
point, you
watch
get
the
like
first
time travel and
episode?
old ass Scott Pilgrim, and yeah, I skimmed it.
Wait, so oh, okay. So look, you read the wiki or something. Look, because
Skimmed it.
my experience was very similar to Jay's, because I was sitting there watching the joint and I was like, okay. And it's not even like I was like, oh, I love the Scott Pilgrim comic book. I loved the movie, and I loved how closely they were to one another.
Mhm.
And then watching this, I was just like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, it was like, I was just sitting there like, it's interesting, because I'm like, it feels like maybe like something in the translation, it lost a little of the heart at first. Like, like maybe like, like halfway through of the first episode, I was sitting here questioning. I'm like, I don't like, did we need this? I'm not sure if we needed this.
No, I
Which
think
is crazy, because it's not like it's bad. It was just, I just like, I don't know. Like, I was like, maybe the comic and the movie were enough. And then you get to the end, and I was just like, oh. I was like, I did not expect that to happen. And I think that they totally, like, I mean, it's very intentional once you get to the end, where you're like,
the end of the first episode.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Mo.
The end of the first episode or the end of the
Yeah.
series? Oh, okay.
No, the end of the first episode. I've only seen like the first two.
So for me, it was like I liked the movie. I enjoyed the comic. I didn't get to read as not much of the comic as I wanted to, but I thought this was going to be something more close to the comic, like an expanded version
Right.
of the movie, you know? So
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm in. And then they even do like the movie didn't really do it where they're like where he has the X-Men patch, and then she's like, "What's the
Right.
X for?" Oh, I could see, only one of us went to the, that in the comic, that scene, like, it is great. They don't do it in the movie, but they do it here, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's just like the comic, you know? And so it's feeling like the comic, and then he dies, and I'm like, oh, and like Jay said, it woke me up, like it literally woke me up because I had fallen asleep, and yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is a reimagining of it. I'm good, and I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't want to watch anymore after that?
No, well, the thing is, the voice acting, the actors they didn't feel like they were passionate about these characters anymore. So they feel like they were like almost phoning it in. Like they're not playing off of each other like they did in the movie. And we went to a screening where all the cast was there, and you saw them talk about to each other, and meet and greet a little bit after, and it's like you see how much they loved working on the movie, and you don't feel that in their performances here, and it's so, or at least I didn't. So it's just not. It just felt like they just read the script without even seeing the actual what it looked like, and then they just put them in where they needed to put them in.
I do feel like the performances are muted a little bit in the first episode. I don't know if that's the case in episode 2, because I feel like everything kind of amps up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, it changes too, I guess. So they're like the stuff I saw, they're kind of reading the same stuff they were already doing. So yeah,
right.
I can see that changing, but it's like, and then it's changing from what I wanted to see, which was a more expanded version of the movie that's closer to the comic, more so.
Right.
And that's not what I'm getting. So I was just like, it's not that I don't want to watch it. I'll just get to it when I have more time.
See, but I do feel like once you get to the end, there's a part of me that does feel like it might be directed that way. Like they want you to be like, oh man, like, are they like, they almost want you to feel like they're phoning it in. And so that is the ending kind of contrast.
That could be right. I mean, again, if you've seen more episodes, you know more than I do. I only watched one, and it was enough to like form my opinion of it. Like it's still not. I'm not getting what I wanted from it, and I'm like,
Right. Right.
So
Right. Is it the full cast that came back?
the full cast came back, and the creators that are working on it are like, Brian Lee O'Malley and this anime director and everything, but they're not. I think they got rid of everybody for season 2. So at season 2, if I don't even know if they're actually going to do it, but I saw a news story that said that they got rid of everybody. I don't know if the voice cast, but all the background people, like Brian Lee O'Malley's not involved in season 2, or yeah, unless they bring him back or something changes. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
Like even the animation studio is changing, I think.
Really? That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, they got to make money somehow by getting somebody cheaper.
Or unless something happens in the course of the story that it warrants that. Like, I haven't finished watching the season, so I don't know.
Well, they got rid of Brian Lee O'Malley. Like, why would they get rid of the creator and the director? Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Oz, you want to weigh in on anything?
No, I mean, I think me and Mo kind of saw the same thing where it felt like a retelling, and I've seen a better version. And we didn't get to the part where it gets cool like you guys.
No, I got to the part where he died. I didn't like that he died. So that's all like, all right. Like,
Mo's like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not getting what I thought I was getting. So I'll watch it eventually.
Mo change at the TV.
I'll watch it on my deathbed, I guess. Like, it'll be the last thing I do.
Your deathbed? What?
Yeah, whenever that comes.
Right after Aquaman 2.
No, I still got to do Shazam 1 and 2. Like,
hey, wait, did
Aquaman 2 comes out this weekend.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but Mo didn't want to watch the first one. I guarantee you're gonna go through the same thing for the second one.
I only watched the first one, and
he is so against part 2 that, just like you, Lawrence, he says no show next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I want people to spend time with their families without having to do pre-production. That's all. And by people, I mean me.
Yeah.
I got a lot of videos to edit shit, so it's like I could use that Wednesday to do all that, so that we start the year off right, which doesn't guarantee that.
Yeah, I mean, so Jay, you sound like you're excited about the prospect of where the show's going to
go. Well, I'm excited with the show. Like I watched the whole thing.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, my bad. So,
I watched the whole thing. Like, dude, I was hooked. When Scott was dead, like I was like, I wanted to know what they were gonna do.
Yeah.
Where, how, like, literally, like, I'm like, what is this? Like, what even is this show? And I wanted to find out, and I kept watching it, and I love this show so fucking much. Like,
really? So it delivers for you?
Yeah, like it delivers. And O'Malley was like, we don't have no idea if we're going to get a second season, so we just wanted to make something that could stand alone, so we could just stop if it stops or go if it goes. Like, I don't think I want more. Like, I think this season is just amazing, kind of perfect where it is.
So,
yeah,
the way that it ends, like, you're satisfied if you don't get a second one?
Yeah. Like,
okay, all right. Yeah, you know what? 5 out of 5. I'm gonna watch it. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, like I love the ending. It just makes sense, and I love it. And they do tease a little bit, like where everyone is at after, like in the post scene, and that's enough. Like I love what's going on with well, I don't even know if I should say it, like, because you
Yeah,
guys
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it because I do want to
right.
watch it. I do want to finish
But
it.
the characters, they're like in a
Fuck
completely different place. Like, and you can see it going forward. Like, and this is episode 2 stuff. Like, basically when oh, what's my dude's name?
The
Young-
first Evil X?
Yeah.
Neil?
Yeah.
No, it's not Neil. His name. He has a
Patel.
name that.
Yeah,
Patel. There it is. Thank you.
Like, beating Scott gives him the like confidence to like go up against Gideon and to take his company. And he's like, man, that is. And if you know the comic and the movie, like, we don't get a lot of Patel.
No,
and
we
so
don't.
kind of seeing him like go and be confident and be like taking out Gideon, which is an amazing fight. Like, the fight choreography throughout is like great. Yeah, like that is just so interesting. And it's awesome. And seeing more of these exes and seeing Ramona kind of interact with them is like, I don't remember what I started off saying, but this is just like amazing. Like I love it. I love seeing these exes do their thing. We don't get a lot of the twins, unfortunately, but I feel like we've never gotten a lot of the twins. Like, the movie was the highlight for the twins, and that's fine for them.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting just because, like, you know, like in episode 2 they do have the funeral for Scott Pilgrim,
right?
And that whole, like, how that whole thing goes down is really interesting, and it definitely shows, like, just like in the same way how you see the X's the evil X's in a different light because of this show. It's like, I mean, the main thing with, at least in episode 2, the main thing with the evil X's, like, episode 2 is pretty much more focuses on the evil X's than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But because Scott is out the picture, and you're seeing his friends at the funeral, their dynamic there is a whole different thing too. And it's like you almost get to see sides of them that we didn't really get to see in the comic or the movie, because it's like it's a whole different situation. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, I thought that was really interesting, and I'm like, okay, like I can definitely watch more of this.
Now, I will say it is best to separate from the comic, because some things don't actually work in the show if you're like hanging on to some of the comic details. There are some characters where in the comic they were like just the absolute worst. And they kind of come off a little, they try to do them a little sympathetic in the cartoon, which if you're just going by the movie, you can do. But if you're going by the comic, you kind of can't do that. So, yeah, it's yeah, that is one thing. They take Knives in a really weird direction. Which is good for her. It's kind of a glow up, but it's interesting what they do with her. I think a little weird, but a little interesting too.
Okay, and so does it feel, based, since you've seen the ending, Jay? Does it feel like there can be a season 2? That's something completely different.
Well, they can,
but
like,
you just don't know if they should.
Right. Like, I don't think they should. They can. Like, there's definitely things going on. Patel has kind of bitten off a little more than he wants to chew. And so, yeah, like they have this whole thing with him and a couple other characters, and it's like, yeah, they could do something with that.
Okay.
And everyone else just kind of settles in. But I mean, it's Scott Pilgrim. Like, it's at the core a slice of life comedy following a terrible person who meets another terrible person and they fall in love. So you can take that in directions if you want.
Mm-hmm. Damn, is Ramona a terrible person?
Yeah.
I mean, not Scott terrible, but she isn't good. Like, the way she just kind of bounces on people, sometimes without even a word. I mean,
yeah,
I know I said distance myself from the comic, but in the comic, even in the comic where Scott fights Gideon, and then she just fucks off for a year and just like leaves him like that. So it's like, that's not what a good person does.
I hear that.
We all love the internet, but fucking make a phone call.
There it is. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to say about Scott Pilgrim before we rate it?
I did like the art style.
Looks like the comic
art is good.
Yeah, seeing it in motion, like I like that. Yeah,
the music is pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard United States of Whatever in like forever.
Okay. So, yeah. All right. So, shoot, Oz, let's start with you, buddy. What are you rating Scott Pilgrim Takes Off?
Sounds like I should give it a 4. Like, maybe I should go watch it.
Yeah, maybe you should go watch it out.
Yeah.
Like, anytime Jay is like really excited about something that isn't bloody and gory or nude,
right?
You got to pay attention.
Right. There's not one baby gets killed in this.
Well, hey, spoiler.
Yeah. Moses Magnum, would you like to reiterate your ranking?
No, it's still like for me. No, yeah, my ranking is still so far after first episode is a 3. Yeah, I did want, I'm not getting what I wanted, but they never promised me what I wanted either. Like it was always, you said it was kind of a retelling and reimagining. So I just felt it was going to be some, I thought it was going to be more filling in what the movie missed, but at least I was hoping. But
So you're not the only one. Like,
yeah,
no.
Like there's people on the internet actually angry about this series. I'm not that angry about it. I'm just like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Like, if he's gonna do something different or as an adaptation, like I would have rather seen like Lost at Sea as a Netflix original. So it's
I need that to be shot for shot.
Well, I mean, no, I'm saying like if he was gonna do this for Netflix, I'd rather him not do this and do like Lost at Sea like for the first time.
No,
like
let him do seconds.
Let
him do seconds. He can do whatever he wants with that. I need my Lost at Sea adaptation to be shot for shot. Like,
well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted shot for shot too, but don't waste time on this. Like, this is old hat. Like, we have the movie, we got the comics. Bring us Lost at Sea for Netflix.
I need that to be perfect. Like, I might be the only person that could do that.
It's only Jay. There it is.
Yeah.
Jay is a producer.
Once I get my ladder winnings, I'm gonna license lost at sea. And then I'll make it perfect. Shot for shot. It'll be done right. And then he could do whatever he wants with seconds.
Jay, not that we need to ask.
You
What was
know,
the rate?
it's a 5.
Okay.
It's a 5. Like, especially because of how meh I was going into it.
Mm-hmm.
To do something to like shock me awake, to get me instantly fired up, to know what's gonna happen next.
Mm-hmm.
Man, just that feeling alone was like worth the 5. But then it was like good after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we didn't mention this, but Ramona changes her hair like in every episode. It's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know.
Especially that for the movie for the movie episode, it's green, like a dark green with the light green, which is just hilarious because green screens and stuff. So yeah, this is a 5. I love it. I don't want any more of it. Please don't do season 2. Just let us have this perfect thing.
Oh, there it is. I would give it a 4.5 myself. I can't give it a 5 yet because I haven't finished it, but it's really good. It's really good. And yeah, like I said, I think it definitely, I feel like it was marketed like it was just going to be an adaptation, and I think that that's what all of us expected, and I think they were playing into that to completely subvert our expectations at the end of episode 1, and it worked in a good way for me, in a bad way for others, unfortunately, and I can't be mad at them because it basically does it is a bit bait and switchy because I didn't see anything about it that made it feel like it was going to be this, and like I said, I think it's intentional. And I think if you're down for that and along with that ride, then you're like, wow, that was cool. But I can't be mad at the people that were like, if you could have just given me my adaptation, I really would have enjoyed that. Because I get it. Like in another, if there was no Scott Pilgrim movie, I probably would have felt the same way, honestly. Whereas I would have loved to have seen an adaptation to that story, But we'll see. All right. Let's talk about another Netflix show, Yu Yu Hakusho.
I feel Jay should talk about this too. Well,
Jay's on a roll.
Well, I watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I watched something like 150 or something episodes, but only because when I met Joe, I'm like, "Hey Jay, hey Joe, nice to meet you." And he's like, "Oh, nice to meet you too, man. Here's Yu Yu Hakusho box set." And I'm like, "All right, yeah." And then I kept that for like a year, and I actually gave it back on Blue Monday. Well, technically, I gave Blue Monday back too, but 15 years later. Yeah. So Jay, take it away.
Okay, Yu Yu Hakusho is about this kid. He's a ruffian, but kind of a delinquent with a heart of gold, and he dies saving a young child from being hit by a truck. And the spirit world was just not prepared for that. Nothing they had in their file suggested he would do this selfless thing for a child. And so they give him the chance to come back to life. But in exchange, he has to fight demons that are encroaching onto the earth realm. And so after seeing that people actually did miss him, he decides to go for it. And right now he's being tasked with finding 3 mystical items: an orb, a mirror, and I don't remember what the third one is. And so he's got to get them from these dangerous demons. A book? Okay. And
Right.
yeah, he's got to get them from these 3 dangerous demons. And that is, well, yeah, that's pretty much what the show is about. So, first off, no one looks like the character from the manga.
I feel like the title character is the closest.
Yeah, and even he's pretty off. But Kuwabara,
No.
his face is so skinny.
Yeah.
Like,
that guy's way too pretty to be Kuwabara.
Yeah, it's a not exactly off-putting, but it does like give you the side. Like I did side-eye it until I saw him acting, and he's fucking Kuwabara. Like he doesn't look like him, but he definitely is him.
Right.
And of course the big thing is Koenma. I don't know what I expected. Like maybe a CGI or something.
A little person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A baby, yeah, a little person would have been great. But they
A
got a big
CGI
person.
A CGI. Right.
A CGI what?
Hugh Grant.
So
you're making a Wonka reference?
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't look at all like. Yeah, they went in the direction they went. Like, there's no need to harp about it, especially when everyone is acting perfectly. Like, even if I didn't know the guys, like, know who that character was supposed to be, watching him act, like, I would, oh, that's Kuwabara. Like, oh, that's Hiei. Like, oh, yeah, that's. I'm slipping on the Rose Whips guy's name, but yeah, that's definitely him. Keiko's a little harder. She didn't really have much personality in the manga or anime, so she's like a mystery. Like I feel like I've seen her like a couple of times, and each time I'm like, who is that? But
what's she doing there?
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, everyone is acting good. The fights actually look really good. Like, I don't know what I was expecting as far as that, but man, like one of the first things we see with Kuwabara is Yusuke just like drop kicking him, and like it looks great. Like, man, like the stunt work, like, is amazing. Like, it looks really good, like really well done. And the story, of course, is condensed. I'm only 2 episodes in, but I guess it's a 5-episode series, and I'm not sure how much they're going to try and do, but because it looks like they brought the Dark Tournament guys there, and so I'm not sure what they're going to do exactly.
They brought the Dark Tournament guys in, but they're not doing the Dark Tournament. So it's just going to be like a fight, for the brawl.
In the anime, that's what happens. Like, their first encounter isn't the Dark Tournament. Like, they fight them in the real world.
Yeah.
And then later, they fight them again in the Dark Tournament.
Yeah. But I think the outcome of everything is going to happen in the real world.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but really impressed so far with these first 2 episodes. They're nailing it. Like, it almost makes me want to go and watch One Piece.
You should.
Yeah, you should watch One Piece.
I know I should, but I'm really just interested in that Cloud arc.
One Piece is better than the anime.
Yeah. Partly because it is condensed. Like even like a One Piece fan was actually telling me and Larry about it, where it's like they condensed it and they changed that fight should have happened later, but they did it here just in order to not repeat it later. So now it's like when it actually the real fight, like the third round, that's like so you only get like one, you get 2 rounds. They did the 2 rounds into one, and then so it's like you don't have to do 50 episodes to get there.
Mm-hmm.
A smart way to do it, and I feel like that's what they're doing here with One Piece, with Yu Yu Hakusho, and like that's I really like. I saw that when I came home from work and they're watching the trailer, and I'm like, I don't like how these people look at all. Like I was pissed, like, but not because I'm not even like I enjoyed watching Yu Yu Hakusho, and but it's not like near and dear to my heart like that. Aside from the memory when I met Jay, but 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 realistically, it's just it's like I watched it because like, my job closed down. Jay's like, "Oh, here watch this, watch Naruto, and watch this." I watched it all, and I had time, so it's like now it's like watching this live action. It's like they can't get this right, and I feel like it's almost like it's like an adaptation, but condensed. And a lot of these animes could use some condensing, Like I was like, you know what? Maybe we need to get Netflix to do a Dragon Ball Z where like the Majin Buu saga is like 4 episodes, because realistically, the World Tournament saga and the Majin Buu saga is like 2 days, but it's like 500 episodes, like
Yeah.
so it's really and I would reimagine Dragon Ball Z altogether. Like it's really the story about Gohan, but that's besides. We're not reviewing that, but but yeah, and here how they did it, like the look, they're not afraid. Like with One Piece, I could say this about One Piece. I think Bleach kind of got this, but it was a little more toned down. I haven't watched Bleach, and I think that was a movie too, so it might be a little different. But with Yu Yu Hakusho and One Piece, it's like they don't they're not afraid to get the designs that you see before and bring them to life. I feel like a lot of productions are afraid of that, and they change the designs. They look weird. Like look at fucking Eternals. Look at fucking
Right.
Thanos. Look at fucking all of
Right.
MCU. Like these motherfuckers should do the MCU stuff. Like make them look like what they look like. Bring it to life. That's a
Right.
challenge. It makes it good. It's
Right.
larger than like superheroes are larger than life. Like they should be like that on a big ass screen on IMAX. I should be able to see fucking Marvel Girls crown, or Storm's crown, like the Kirby shit, like don't be afraid to do that shit. But no, you get Eternals and they all just look like dudes at the gym with like spandex, like yeah. So, but
Under Armour
afraid-
model.
the dude with the rose whip, like that's a big one because that's an easy one. Like that's an easy one to change because it just doesn't look like a real dude. Like
Right.
it doesn't
Right.
look like a real person. Like Kuwabara is like, okay, he's got a pompadour hairstyle, kind of like a Pachuco dressing. You can do that same with Yusuke, but then like you got Hiei, and Hiei is pretty straightforward, but it's an easy one to fuck up. But they actually like they can do it. And then you got that dude with the rose. I can't remember his fucking name, but he's an easy one that they could have easily changed that because he looks like just like a K-pop dude, but they make it look good.
Right.
And the actors, like the actor's ability to like have that weight, with looking like that is a very like it's a very poignant thing here, and that's kind of where this series goes. Like I was like, man, as mad as I was about how I saw the trailer, when I watched it, I'm like, this is actually really good. Like I really enjoy watching it. You're talking about an anime that came out in like 1992 or some shit, so it's like it took almost 30 years to get a live action adaptation, and it's this good. It's like it was worth the wait, kind of, you know. I'm like 4 episodes in, and yeah, I'm loving, like, even the stuff with like the diamond tears, you know, like they're
Mm-hmm.
it's so many. They're not afraid to look goofy aesthetically to push the story forward, you know, and the story and the performance is just so, like, even the villain, the mobster guy with the cheeks, like, that's a very like caricature character, and he still looks like he's it's a live version. It's like, oh my god, I wish, you know, what's the one, like, I wish they would do this for fucking comic book movies, you know. Like, yeah,
I mean, Kurama.
yeah,
Right.
that's the Rosewood.
Kurama.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, look, the wild part is, you know, I feel like early MCU they were doing it, and you know,
Well, just
gotten away from that. No, look, Captain America looked like Captain America. Same thing with
Yeah,
Thor.
you saw that costume, and you're like, I don't know, but in motion, it's like, okay, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
well,
but
yeah.
I guess that's probably why, because it was like a little, yeah. I don't. They just mute everything down, and it's like, yeah. I feel like MCU
No.
TV shows feel like they can do more than the movies. The movies feel like they have to tone it down. Yeah,
But
I don't know.
the
By the time you
movies-
get to Avengers and Captain America, where it's the classic costume, it kind of looks a little goofy.
I don't mind
Wait,
looking
in
goofy.
Avengers,
Like, I don't care
what?
about that. Like, I just
In the Avengers movie, you know, Captain America puts on like the more classic comic book accurate costume as compared to the first Avenger, and it looks kind of silly.
no.
It don't look silly
No,
to
and
me.
well, you missed what we were saying. If the story's good, like, silly doesn't matter. You know,
Right.
like,
You're right. It didn't. It's still, that's a good movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you watch a clip of it out of context and you see that costume, you're
I
And
like
that's
that.
kind of, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I feel like you might call it muted in comparison to the comic book, but in relation to comic book movies, it's not muted at all. Like, especially like before like early MCU stuff, it's like you remember what comic book movies, like, I mean, Iron Man was 08. You remember what comic book costumes look like in the early 2000s? Like, that was all X-Men. Everything was all black leather.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter
I
what
mean, we
character
got
you were.
lucky. We did get lucky with Spider-Man.
But even
Yeah.
Spider-Man was muted. Like,
And
it wasn't
American
bright red,
Spider.
bright blue. It's like, you know, like Spider, like literally Spider-Man had like dark red,
Yeah.
and dark blue.
And like navy blue and Revlon red.
As opposed to like MCU Spider-Man that actually
It's like
has like
Brandon
the more
Routh
comic
Superman.
accurate color.
It was like maroon
Right.
and navy. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like all of these, like, it's like, dude, it's like these are supposed to be bright colors. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it has to be comic book color bright, like comic book paper, you know, but you know, it like MCU definitely was like, okay, we appreciate what these characters do on the page, and we're gonna try to bring a realistic version of that actual costume as opposed to muting everything, because I don't know. But yeah, but MCU definitely has gotten away with that, or gotten away from that, with things like, you know, Guardians and Eternals, and yeah, like all
Scarlet
those, like,
Witch.
you know, supports.
They came back with Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch, but like when they showed her first, it's like, ew, this is like,
Yeah,
she works
like
hot
you're
topic.
right, right. Like Scarlet Witch is wearing street clothes. But I guess
Like,
that was
this
the
isn't
villain.
This is Scarlet Witch. This is Burgundy Witch. Yeah, that's not Scarlet Witch.
Oz, did you watch Yu Yu Hakusho?
Nah, I'm not into that.
Okay.
You don't have to
Why-
be into it.
why-
You have to. for the
Why
show.
you say it? Why you say it like somebody like did an indecent proposal?
It's just a lot of well, it feels like a lot of anime getting remade. I wasn't into the show that much when it was out to begin with, so I
You don't
had
like
no interest
Spirit?
in the live action.
Like, it's funny, he doesn't like Spirit Detectives, but he married one.
Yeah, look, why I gotta see this made up story when I got that shit in real life?
No.
Because
I
she don't have
I
to
just gotta sit in the couch and say, "Go detect the spirit."
the
And then
show
start
doesn't
telling me about the spirit
show
of
doesn't
the native man that haunts our property. So I gotta live
So
with
you have
that now.
a person that haunts your property, a spirit that haunts
Well, I think
mouse.
he's moved on by now, but yeah, it was a native man apparently.
Oh, jeez.
It's the dead mouse.
I'm sure there is the spirit of the dead mouse roaming around. I've killed a lot of mice. Like they're gonna come get me at some
Like,
point.
technically, you should be haunted by mice more than native people. Like, the last time a native person lived there was like hundreds of years ago.
Well, he was, next to our driveway with a single tier.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, any
Lord.
more Yu Yu Hakusho stuff?
I will say that I have been enjoying it too, even though I'm early on in it. Like I have fond memories of watching the show. I definitely feel like it's obviously super condensed, and I mean, part of that might be for the better, but I like the the aspects of Yu Yu that allow it to breathe, and like the little kind of silliness of it, kind of, which is not something that I like from much anime. But for some reason, that particular one does it for me. So it's like I did kind of miss a little bit of that. And also too, ironically enough, something else that I did miss that I was just like, well, I get it because, you know, effects are expensive. But I loved how um like he would float like in that little
Yeah.
position. And I
Mm.
was hoping to get more of that, and I haven't seen that at all, and I don't think it's going to happen, and that's okay because that is
Yeah.
expensive, and it's like just like literally, like I don't want them to blow the budget on just full floating, but it is one of the small things that is like when a character has something like that and you are able to do it. Like that was probably one of the best things about Black Adam, where this fool like literally did actually float a lot of the time when he didn't have to. But we're not gonna get another one of those. So and maybe that money would have been better spent in other areas. So anyway, I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it. So, but that's all I wanted to say. So I guess
Okay.
we should rate it. Uh Mo, why don't you go ahead and hit us with your rating for what you've seen of Yu Yu Hakusho?
For
Or
me, it's a
sorry.
5 out of 5. I think it feels like there might not be a second season, and I
Mm,
think they wrote it with that in mind. And I kind of
mm,
like that. There's so much stuff to watch now that I'm good with just a short mini series and then move on to something else to watch. Maybe in another year or so. That one of the things I like about Loki was like how good the first season was. It's like, okay, I don't have to count the minutes for the next one. I'll get it when I get it, but I can move on. Same with some of the Star Wars stuff, although there was too much of it, but it was
mm.
all good. But there's like that shit's taking too much time. Um, so yeah, but for me right now, it's a 5 out of 5 easily. Like I really like the condensing of it. I like the floating thing. They could have at least done it for the moment where he finds out he's dead. Like he just starts floating and he's like upside down looking at himself. Like that would have been a good scene to see live. Because even that whole car accident scene, like they did it a little different here, and they didn't.
Right.
It like the cartoon's like a cold open to the car accident,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this one is too, but then they go back to give you context. The cartoon does it as
Right.
well, but most
Right.
of it happened like what you see, how he finds out he's dead and everything happens all in like one scene. Where here, I think they split it
Hmm.
after. But it's just a stylistic choice to do it, but it's still a 5 out of 5 for me.
That effect was also pretty good, like him getting run over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cartoon, I think he tried to like punch the EMT or something, and he just went through him.
Yeah. What about you, Jay? What would you rate Yu Hakusho?
I'm gonna give it a 4. Pretty impressed with it. All my nitpicks are like super minor. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the rest of it and see what happens.
Yeah, I would actually say the same. I would give it a 4, and yeah, same, basically same reasoning, all that. Where I'm like looking forward to watching the rest of it. But as of right now, that's where I'm at. Oz, what would you rate the review, buddy?
I'm gonna say 2. You guys haven't convinced me.
That's not the point of the review.
He's reviewing our review.
Yeah, because I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Whatever, Oz. Shake our fist at you and contempt.
Do better.
Do better. Convince me.
You do better.
All right. Let's talk about Godspeed.
I have to recuse myself.
Oh, somebody didn't watch it?
Godspeed?
No, I watched it, but I also produced it, so I can't give an accurate.
Didn't Jay also produce it?
Rating. No, Jay's not a producer on.
Yeah, I am.
You're not in the credits, are you?
Yeah, I'm one up and one row over from you.
Oh shit!
Oh damn!
So like
Damn!
The one up and the row over.
This is practically a Fantastic Forum production.
Yeah, pretty.
Wait, exactly. Wait a minute. We do have to do some. We do have to make some modifications here. We gotta. I didn't realize we have to mess around and do this much caveats for this review. Like, y'all should just listen. We'll tell y'all your money was well spent.
No, Godspeed is great. It's about there's an object headed towards. Wait, no, I'm thinking of a wrong ship. But basically, the Earth is dying, and the Ark ships are taking off. And this one girl, she's supposed to get on, but she ends up giving her ticket to a young boy so that he can live. And she stays behind, hoping that her uncle will come and find her. And it's basically about like just her going around, trying not to lose hope, and doing some scavenging. And eventually she does get a radio message that her uncle is waiting for her for where, or is going to be where the Ark ships took off. And when she gets there, he's not there, but another person, the Kingslayer, is there, and he offers to take her to go find her uncle. So that's the basic thing. Okay, so one of the things you gotta know is some of the meta behind Godspeed. Godspeed is the spiritual successor to Final Space. So you can infer what you want as it being a continuation of Final Space. It's not, because Olin legally does not own those characters, and so he cannot say that it is what it is. He says it's just a single thing on its own, spiritual successor. But if you want to connect the dots, you can.
We put in a lot of parallels where the dots connect.
Avocado was in it. Oh my god. I was oh man. When I saw Avocado, I was like, oh my god. Like it made the whole thing just so much realer. Avocado, of course, being a character from Final Space. They don't call him that. They call him Kingslayer, which in Final Space, Avocado killed a king and then took his kid. So yeah, that's pretty much him. And yeah, as a Final Space fan, I love this pilot. Like, I'm not sure how. Like, even I think on its own, it stands, but it's not. There's not a lot there. Like, it is very light on content. Well, basically, just introducing you to this character and her sidekick and her friend that she made, which I'm not sure why they can't go pick her up. Like they have a ship, like they could go like and just grab her.
She gave up on like life. Like she's like, I don't want anything beyond this. Like,
right, but I mean, they could take. She didn't want to run, but they could take the ship over to her and like she could get in it.
Give her another shot. Be like,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
just
like-
want to double check. You
That's
sure?
right. You know, we might meet your son. You know, just you don't have to run. Just sit down, sit in the back, and we'll do the shit. And we might find your son, and you could just chill out in the back. Like they don't explain why they can't do that, and that is a point against it. Like it feels like they could just fly over to where she is. Like they know where she is.
They had to go, Joe. You didn't hear them say they had to go? That's what I heard.
No, they did, but they didn't give a reason.
They had to go.
Right.
So all of a sudden now he wants reasons. Well, he is a producer.
So yeah, it's crazy looking at it as a sequel to Final Space because this chick is like the daughter of the main two characters, which is like, man, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's like it's interesting because you know they bring out a message from the girl's dad, which is they haven't even mentioned him before. Like it's always been her and the uncle. But when the ship and Kingslayer gets there, now there's a message from her dad. And it's like that's definitely like dots. Like they're just putting all the dots there. And the Final Space fans can connect them, and the Godspeed people can just take it for what it is. So it's interesting for me. Like that's my experience. Like as a Final Space fan, as someone that backed the Godspeed Kickstarter, that's how
the film.
Yeah, that's where I'm like. That's been my experience.
So, Oz, did you watch this?
Yeah.
And did you watch Final Space as well?
Yeah, we talked about it on the air.
Yeah, well, I know we talked about a lot of things on the air today that you didn't watch.
I did not put together that was Avocado.
Well, there you go.
Well, because in Final Space he's like cute and fuzzy, and this is like an old grizzled like veteran Avocado. Like he looks like hard as hell, man. Like he's seen some shit. And,
Well, that's what Avocado looked like, but it was just the design of the show that we worked on before. I'm sorry, the show before. It was it's a different design, but Avocado was still grizzled then. Like he was like a Boba Fett type guy,
But he
And,
was drawn like cute.
Well, it's just the design of the show is more. It basically, for those who haven't seen it, it's more like how Lower Decks looks. You know, like that's
Yeah.
kind of the look for Final Space. This
Like
isn't
he's
that.
saying
This is more,
the art style is different. Basically, what he's saying.
yeah. But he had scars. Like he looked like an alley cat, like the that style of an alley cat. If he was a cat, like he had scars on him. Then you had Lil Kato, that was a lot cuter.
Oh my god, I love Lil Kato.
He's the shit.
Like, man, I just want to protect him from all the world's bullshit.
Yeah. The universe is a fucked up place that Lil Kato shouldn't have to deal with. But yeah, we're actually producing a comic book, Jay, too, right? Because we're doing that, the Final Space ending that's coming out in 2024 that we're also executive producing.
Yeah.
So you're saying
Oh
that
man, I swear if he doesn't like, you better leave Lil Kato alone.
That'd be like a Kirkman and bash his face in with a bat.
Man, I would slap Olin. Like, I would give him $10,000 so he would give me cookies, and then I would slap him.
We totally we'd cut our funding if that happened, right? Like,
and just so you know, that is one of the tiers for the new Kickstarter. Like, he'll bring you, like, hand deliver you a plate of like homemade cookies
for 10,000.
I think it's like, it might be either 10,000 or 5,000. I don't remember.
What kind of cookies is the question?
White chocolate.
He didn't say.
I think you get to choose. Like,
I was about to say, like, white chocolate macadamia will work for me.
Yeah.
I would get that for Joe.
Oh man,
so I get the cookies and he gets
it's the same actor doing the voice for Avocado too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
he sounds like Avocado.
We paid to get like almost the same people to work, you know, for the characters that we want. Like, this is what we wanted. Like, you know, Final Space got canceled and we stepped up. Jay and I was like, you know what? Let's make this shit happen. Yeah.
There it is. Look, we've come a long way since Can I Buy Your Funimation?
Look, and Funimation, we could have literally bought that shit. Like, they would have been in a better place. Yeah. But no, they hung up on us. Like, they hung up on us. They didn't know. Like, they don't know, but we're about to buy like Boom Studios too. Like, we already are working our way to acquire IDW, right, Jay?
Yeah, that's gonna be ours pretty soon.
Slow but sure.
Yeah. Well, look, between us, we got 1,500 shares, so it's like we share a seat on the board, like one cheek each.
I'm gonna have to watch this again because this is gonna be like a whole new.
Oh, watch it a ton of times because the goal is for it to get picked up, so he could do the story that he wants to do. But he wants to do it whether it gets picked up or not, and that's why
I watched it on YouTube. Where's the best place to watch it to help?
YouTube. That's the one. Yeah, like it. You know, subscribe.
But the new Kickstarter is up, and the stretch goal
already, right?
Yeah,
you got funded like
but
minutes.
not really. Like,
Well,
we need the $6 million stretch goal.
Yeah,
which is a full season.
Oh Jesus!
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, Jay and I could easily put that in, but we're like, we want to give you the opportunity to share the space on the marquee with us.
Credit. Thanks, Mo.
We want you to be with us at the red carpet for the the prime
Money
time
Magnum.
Yeah.
Look, we gonna stop calling you Money Magnum, and you're gonna be Magnanimous Magnum. For giving us opportunity to put our million in.
Yeah, you could all invest in this and join me in the VIP suite and Jay, Money Magnum and JN.
JN.
So,
There it
what did
is.
you guys think about the art and or animation?
I liked it. Like, I mean, keeping in mind that, like I didn't really watch much of Final Space at all.
Bitch.
So
That's why we lost it.
So,
That's why
if
I
you're
had to
talking
pay for
about
this thing to get made.
if you're talking about like an outsider, like I didn't like I understood 100%, and if you all told me this beforehand, I've forgotten, so forgive me. Not on purpose, but just because of the nature of who I am. Apparently, I didn't realize that this was supposed to be like a spiritual sequel to Final Space. And so I watched it
Spiritual,
like
it
just
sounds
clean
like it's a
clear.
direct.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Like he's being smart about it
Mhm.
in the sense that even though he's put like it feels like, and this is a question I do want to ask you all. It feels like he might be putting himself in a little bit of danger because it's like if the people that own Final Space want to go ahead and like start being like, hey, this guy is like infringing on our copyright here. It sounds like they might be able to make a case.
He said
Like,
I
he
don't
says
think
that
so.
in the
We have
Kickstarter.
we
In
do
the
have a.
Kickstarter-
Go ahead.
I'm just to answer Lawrence's question because in the Kickstarter he actually asked the question: "Is this connected to Final Space?" His answer is legally, no. I can't use the characters. It's its own thing. However, you can use your own imagination.
And that's kind of where like the while the Kingslayer is like avocado, it could still not be, and there's parallels here. We're working
Right.
with it. It's almost like something set almost in a similar universe as Final Space. Like, where
but
we go ahead.
I was like, this
Because
don't come across like
yeah,
we're not McDonald's, we're McDowell's. Like,
yeah.
like it don't feel like that to y'all. Like we're like they got the golden arches, we got the golden arcs.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
I
The
think
difference is this is the guy that created McDonald's, starting McDowell's because he got screwed over.
well, but he
Which
don't
the
own it,
McDonald brothers did get screwed over. So
right? But that's the whole thing. They don't.
I
they had
think
they
I
could have
think
done
it
what they
is far enough, like that he won't get in trouble. Like he can.
and well the go ahead, Jay. Finish. Sorry.
He can say that it is different. That none of the final space stuff is mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Even as
Right.
even avocado isn't the name is different. The robot is a different shape. Like there's enough difference
What's a
that
different robot?
you can say is it like there is no literally no direct connection. Like you do have to put the pieces together. So I think because of that, it is far enough that they can't actually come after.
And also the tone, Jay was privy to this, and I'm privy to this in our production meetings. The tone of this series is a lot different than Final Space. So even if it was the same story told over, like people tell the same stories all over the time, all over. Like every story is the same, but this is our story.
See,
and
and
it can have similar circumstances. Now, we're not going to deal with the unmentionable gods from other dimensions that are, reaching Final Space. We're not. That's a whole different story. That's Final Space story. We're dealing with the people that had a cataclysmic event on Earth that is similar to the cataclysmic event in the Final Space, and they're spacefaring people living in arc spaceships and dealing with different issues than the people in Final Space, however similar they may be.
I mean,
wow,
listen,
somebody already got the cookies.
I thought there was more than one though.
There's
I thought there were
20. There's a total of 20. Yeah, there
Right.
is.
Yeah,
I just,
19 left. Yeah,
like,
sorry.
I thought you guys were like joking, and then it actually says no joke.
Right.
Oz,
But,
you want to
you know,
help
but-
produce episode 2? You know, or the full season?
I want the cookies.
There it is.
But then you
Let's
also
do it.
get a Zoom call with Olin Rogers, and I think we're
Yeah.
pre-producing episodes of the show. I mean,
Listen, I guess more so what I'm saying is I understand that he's definitely, like, Rogers is definitely doing what he can to stay on the right side of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, litigation is about what people are willing to sue over.
Look,
And
is
I'm
there a
just saying,
When you
is there
Like-
a nuclear? What I ask you, Larry, and Mark Furman, because he's the only monster that would try to come after this, is would you is there a paradimensional being that it could be used as a weapon, but they have a affection for, so they don't want to give him up to lose him to an evil spacefaring empire in this series? No.
I'm gonna say
Look-
no.
So if
Laura.
it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
what I would ask you is, like, when you were watching it, because you forgot we said it was connected to Final Space. Like,
Yeah.
when you were watching it, did it like remind you of Final Space, or like, did you ever think like, oh, this
The
could
only
be...
point where it that even dawned on me was when the cat showed up, and I was like,
Yeah, but that could
Oh.
be Star Trek.
no,
Shit, that could be
absolutely,
Mass Effect.
100%. And but here's the whole thing: is like it
I
for
think
me.
Mass Effect, I think Mass Effect actually has more of a lawsuit in design for his armor than
That's
than
hilarious. Yeah.
than Warner
Yeah,
Brothers.
but what I will say is,
That
I'm
is
no
off the
lawyer.
record. I did not admit that at all as a member of the production.
I'm no lawyer, but if I was, and this was my case, it's like I would definitely feel like I could make a case. I don't know if I would win, but I could make a case that it might be some sort of infringement. And the thing is, it's like, hey, I get it. Like, you're like, well, if you don't watch Final Space, then you don't know. But you can make a case, I think, that it's exact, like, if it's the Final Space audience you're going after, like, if you have knowledge of Final Space, then you can easily say, oh yeah, this is that.
We are
You
not
know?
going
But
after the Final Space. I'll say this on the record.
right, but
We're going
Oz
to
didn't recognize it,
We
and so
are
like
trying-
if I was on the defense, Oz would be like my star witness. I'm like, hey, this guy watched all of Final Space. He had no clue. He's not an idiot.
in fact, I saw the cat person, and I was like, Olin Rogers loves his cat people.
Right, and I think that's kind of what I had too, where I was just like, man, this will really like cat people, huh? But I did look at it and think, I'm pretty sure that's the same color as the cat person in the other.
Now,
cat
if they meet up with an orange cat person with a blue mohawk, now we're gonna have some words.
Hmm.
Hey, you know what? If that's the case, then they should sue Lower Decks because their cat people look more like Final Space cat people than Godspeed does.
Well, but those cat people existed before.
But they didn't
their
look like
cat
that.
people in Final Space.
They didn't- That design is an
That's an
infringement.
art style. That's not. You
It's
can't
a-
infringe on
no,
art
no.
style.
Why not? If you can do themes
It's art.
and audiences, like if you can sue over an audience demographic, you can sue over an art style.
No, it's not audience demographic. It's the fact that the audience would recognize the fact that that character is the same character from the other
Right.
show.
And I can make a case that Lower Decks chose that art style for those cats so that Final Space people could have something to watch.
But
Like,
no one
bring
has
them
a
in.
copyright on the art style.
Not yet, but after our case, when we win, yeah.
No, you can't copyright an art
Just
style.
like presidents.
So
That's not true. You can.
do we have any more Godspeed stuff?
Dude, I honestly, like, as an outsider, like a complete outsider perspective, I really loved it. Like, it doesn't need any of the Final Space stuff as far as I was concerned. I just watched it as what it was, and I was like, man, this is compelling. I don't know like jack about this character, but I like her. She's going through some stuff. She's trying to make it. Like she was super selfless and gave her spot up, which is like, I was like, man, like that's hardcore. Especially considering it's not like even one thing if it was like she could send this kid and his mother, but to send just the kid, I was like, man, like I don't know, like yeah, it was hardcore, and so
I'm a little upset.
It's the one thing that Jay likes.
You guys told me that here's this cartoon by the guy that made Final Space. Enjoy. I'm expecting some like light, upbeat, kind of funny thing, and like I saw the warning at the beginning. I was like, oh, so it's just gonna be a scene or something. But no, it's the whole episode. Like it is just heavy.
Yeah,
it's heavy. They try to inject a little humor in it, but dude, like
we existed.
I started smiling when they get to the house, and then I stopped smiling.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I was like, wow.
That's all I could say.
Wow.
I remember being in that writer's room talking about that moment.
You knew it was going to be impactful. I could see that. I could see what you did.
It was actually my idea. It was my idea to put plus Iris. Yeah.
You bring me up and then bam, just hit me with it.
It's a journey. Hilarious. Like what better journey than the highs and lows of one episode? Like that. You watched the first episode of Final Space. It wasn't like that. Final Space brought you the lows later on, like episode 5, and it got heavy and it got better. But we're not talking about Final Space no more.
What was the name? What's the name of the robot?
Bowie.
Like David Bowie.
Bowie. I was like, I feel Bowie. Like Bowie's like, man, I remember when people used to party. I remember when people used to date. I was like, dude, I feel you, Bowie. Like, people don't be partying.
Emily really liked like how excited he was for the party. Like happy that there was a party. Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't like this little robot is definitely my spirit animal right now.
I told her, wait, baby, wait.
I totally feel it. I was like, remember people used to party? It was great. All the music and the dancing. I was like, yeah, Bowie, you're right.
Jay, part of this experience, I mean, because we are a crucial part of this coming to life. But like aside from the craft services and the rap parties, like what was your favorite part about this, actually the journey that we went on here?
My favorite part of the journey is the end, where you see all your hard work just pay off. When you get something that you can be proud of, that you can enjoy, and to see other people enjoying it is the best part.
Yeah, I love that. And it like this is like, it's like me and Jay fucked and had a baby. Like this is our baby. Like we made it happen together.
Your baby's
but
sad.
You did take his pants off, so makes sense.
Yeah, he's comfortable without pants. Like, I want my friend to be comfortable.
I am.
Yeah.
So you were credited, Mo, as Moses Magnum.
Yeah.
And Jay, what were you credited as?
My real name, Joseph Antrim Russell.
Government name.
Okay.
Yeah, for tax purposes. I actually did change my name legally, so that's my legal name too. So
yeah, there it is. Okay, well, shoot. You guys ready to rate Godspeed?
Yes.
We're not going to recuse ourselves, Jay. All right.
No, I'm rating.
No. Look, Oscore, what would you rate Godspeed?
I'm gonna go with 5. Just it's heavy, but yeah, it's good.
There it is. There it is. Jay, what would you rate Godspeed?
I would give it a 5. I loved it. I love the dots.
The dots.
Yeah, connecting those dots was amazing. I love this, and I want to see more. I'm definitely considering backing the second Kickstarter.
Do you know how far along they are?
They got I know last I checked, they were 138,000 of their 100,000 goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
It's fully funded. We're trying to get a season going. But I told no, don't worry about that. Like this is good. We'll sell it to a network. But look how Final Space turned out. So to my chagrin, they're like, no, let's just do another episode. So I'm like, all right, and I gotta produce more. Like, all right. But yeah, it's gonna work out. So yeah, we really are trying to get that full season money. So
got it.
You too, Larry, part of this venture capitalist investment.
Moses Magnum, what would you rate Godspeed?
I was gonna recuse myself, but it's a 5. Like it's what it's the sensibilities that I enjoyed in Olan's previous work, which is why I chose to partner with him here. And but it's more towards my moods and sensibilities, the darkness, a little heavier, and because sometimes that's kind of some things don't have to be super funny just because Final Space had its heavy moments, but they gave you a little break, and it's like no, there's no break here. Like you get one break per episode. That's what I said, but we'll see. I don't know. These writers like to do what they do.
There it is. I would give it a 3. I feel
what
like it was good, but there's like these 2 loudmouth producers that feel like I got to take a point for each one. So
yeah. All right,
3. No, I'm joking. It's a 5. It's a 5. It's awesome. It's awesome. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm glad that your names are attached to it because, hey, look, it makes sense. Y'all should be attached to it. Y'all have been championing the creator and the show for a long time now. So I'm very happy to be able to look at that. All right. Final thoughts. Oscore. Final thoughts.
Gonna do an unboxing right after this. So like
nice.
and subscribe, and that should be out in 2-3 days, something like that.
There it is. Jay, final thoughts.
So done with pants for the evening.
No, look, that's your cube, Mo. All right, make more awesome animation.
Christmas came early.
Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
The J.
What'd you say?
And so did Jay.
Oh my God. Okay, well there it is. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We will be back soon. In the meantime, have a happy holiday. Whether that be a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a friggin' happy Kwanzaa. Like, what am I forgetting?
Ramadan,
Festivus for the rest of us. Whatever it is you're celebrating, we hope that you have a happy time with the people that you love. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon. So until then, we are the Fantastic Forum. Good night.